Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host, and I wanted to explore during this episode the idea of finding our purpose. I talk about this a lot. I work with a lot of my students and the people that I work with around finding our purpose, especially for younger people, late teenage years or early 20s. And there is something in there that I find really interesting. That is the idea of why do we need to know what our purpose is? I'm not saying that we don't. Why do we need that so badly? Why are we wanting to know exactly what our specific purpose is? Because on one hand, it is great to understand what our purpose is a little bit, how to engage in our lives from one specific perspective, characteristic, skills, or whatever we want to call it. And on the other hand, I believe that it's beautiful to allow the unfolding of our life, all the time learning, changing, exploring, discovering. That might be the purpose, to be all of the time changing and discovering and being malleable on how we engage with our lives. So I want to explore this a little bit more, especially for the people that feel pressure to find that purpose. When we are able to explore a lot of things, I know from my own experience, I struggled sometimes with some things looking back, with finding my thing. What was my thing? I started to find it when I started to explore a lot more around well-being, spirituality, reconnecting with my body, reconnecting with feelings and energy. And that was a huge part of how I started to connect with what my path was. And it's not just one thing, but that was a big thing that I discovered. And I feel like I didn't have the pressure of doing that. I didn't put pressure on myself to discover that. I allowed myself to move to different countries, to explore different things, to study and learn different traditions. And I think that was part of what allowed me to start getting closer to that. And even though that is a huge part of my purpose here, and to be able to live that more conscious life, to develop that awareness, and to be able to share this with those that are around me or that I can reach, then I still am not holding on to it. I'm not attached to it. I might live 100 more years, and I'm allowing myself to relax in the sense of there might be another redirection. There might be another thing that I find that is what lights me up, where I want to go and how I want to be. So the invitation is to not put so much pressure into it, because a lot of times I see this with a lot of people, and there's a lot of famous people, for example, that started to do what they are known by when they are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So the fact that we are perhaps rushing into it and putting all of this pressure onto finding that one thing that it is what we are good on and finding our purpose, that I feel like is what's in the way sometimes, because we are not allowing ourselves to be open to whatever needs to happen, to the unfolding of life, to all of the interactions and connections and relationships that we're going to allow, to whether that is on one place or traveling around the world and trying to discover it that way. When we're able to allow ourselves to relax, now there's space for that. So there's no need to compare ourselves to anybody else. If that was the case, then we can always compare to someone that started to be, like a phenom of sports, or a super talented musician when they are 2, 3, 4 years old. Then we are always behind. Why would I compare myself to them? Why would I compare myself to anyone, really? But if I want to find inspiration, I could look at those that started to do the things that they are known by, or found their purpose way later in their lives. Perhaps they spent the first 60 years of their lives doing a lot of different things until they found that one thing. Why would I compare myself to those that found it, in a sense, earlier in their lives than with the ones that found it later? And why would I compare myself to anybody else? Because we are all unique. We all come here with a specific configuration, with specific programming based on our families, based on our cultures, our countries, when we are born. All of that is huge, as well as everything that came before, whether we want to look at it from a past lives perspective or our ancestors and all of that energy. We are all unique, and we all have our unique path. So why would we compare ourselves with others? So this is huge in terms of taking some pressure off. And then, yes, we can go out, or we can go in and find, if we want, one thing that lights us up, that purpose in our life. How that looks like, it can be very different. Some people, perhaps what they came to be and their purpose in life is to be a parent, dad, mom. Perhaps their purpose is to be a sibling, or a great family member, a great friend. Sometimes it's not related to what we do in terms of our work. Sometimes it's just about being a great member of our community. Sometimes it is about work. Sometimes it is about being a leader of a country or a city. Or sometimes it's about being great at sports, or being someone that is going to find a solution to one of the biggest challenges that we have in the world. Whatever that is, it's going to be unique for each of us. So the more that we allow ourselves to relax, to be open, and to try different things, how will we know what we are good at, or what lights us up, or what fills up our heart, or what we are going to be great at serving others and this universe and this world, if we are not trying out different things? So I invite you to see what else is there that perhaps it's out of your comfort zone, that might allow you to try something new, something different. I know I wouldn't have discovered a lot of the things that I have if it wasn't because I was open to invitations from my parents to go and try different meditation and yoga and practices, and different books that they gave me to read. If I didn't allow an opening of moving to other places in the world and to be by myself, and to move to the middle of the mountain, to a retreat center, and live there for a few years, immersed in nature, immersed in teachings that were not the ones that I grew up with. And all of that was because I opened myself to step out of that comfort zone. and to discover different things, to be around different people, different cultures, different ways of thinking. And that is part of what allowed me to discover a little bit more what it is that resonates with me and how I want to show up in this world. So try out different things. Find. Sometimes it's not what we have the skills for, because skills can be learned as well. Sometimes it is what we have natural skills for, or we have, like ease of doing things. In my experience, a lot of this can be learned. I used to be a very, very, very shy person. I would have never thought that I would be sharing, just like I am here doing, or at conferences, at festivals, at classes, running events, talking to people, like public speaking. When I was younger, I thought not only I cannot do it, that I was really bad at it. And I mean, like quantifying whether I'm good or bad now, I don't mind what others might think, but I feel comfortable doing that, which means that I learned the skills to be able to create that space. So I invite you to, one, relax the need and the pressure to find your purpose. Try out different things. Be on an curious space. Allow that curiosity and that openness to move you to different places so that you're able to connect more and to find, okay, this is a no, this is a yes, this is no, this is a yes, or this is a maybe. Allow that pathway to unfold and to open based on you just living your life. Because that might be your purpose, to just live your life, perhaps without finding that one thing. Perhaps your purpose is to explore and to grow and to discover and to, just live life in that way. So I hope that this little episode allowed some of you to find something that resonates with, that supported or helped in your view of this topic on finding purpose and living life. And as always, if you have anything that you'd like to share or comment, please leave us a comment anywhere that you're finding this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using #ConsciousAction and tagging @ConsciousActionNZ so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.